Alright, today we're going to take a look at the 69 versus the 72 that I have modified a little bit more. So I'll talk about the guitars after I play a little bit. So let's start in the same order as I've always done. The 69 is first. It has had no changes made to it since last time. It's just been sitting here on the stand. I play it once in a while every day. So there it is again for comparison. Alright, this is the 72, and since we've seen it last time, I have replaced the Rotomatic tuners with Grover 18 to 1s. I plugged the headstock bushings in. I did a little trick here. I plugged the whole thing and then reamed it out so that I could use small grommets up on the headstock rather than oversized stew-mat grommets. And I don't normally do that because it's a lot more work, but I just wanted to do every trick that I can do on this guitar, and so I went ahead and did that the hard way for, practice. That's what the guitar is for. The nuts the same, the frets are the same. It needs new frets. These frets are about 30 thousandths of an inch tall, which is pretty low. And occasionally I'll miss a note because, like when I'm really playing it, I'll miss a note because I kind of expect the fret to be there and I have to press a little harder. So I'm going to get to the frets before too long, but they don't affect the sound that much. Some, but it's more of a playability issue. So I'll get to the frets. I took the popsicle brace out. I put my brace in there. It's got a black locust bridgeplate in it now, and it has a granadillo bridge on it, which is a really nice sounding wood. I think it taps really nice. It's not particularly pretty. I stained this one a little bit, and I put a French polish on it. But it's not a pretty bridge. It's not like a Brazilian rosewood or a cocobolo or anything like that. But it has a nice tap tone to it, and that's why I used it. I'm not saying this is going to be the bridge that's going to stay on this guitar forever and ever, but that's where I started anyways. As you can see, I cut a long saddle for it, glued it in. I've got ebony bridge pins on it, and that's it. Oh, and I screwed the bridge back for the intonation. You can see the scar on it when you were looking at it. I screwed the bridge back. I used a different technique for touching up the wood here than I normally do. Not sure I like it. I got a lot of the dark line there, which I don't normally get. So I don't know. I probably won't do that on customers' guitars as I get a little bit more comfortable with it. Humidifier came on. Forgot to turn it off. I did glued the bridge on with fish glue, which is something that I haven't done yet. I haven't done a bridge with fish glue. I've been doing my bridge plates with fish glue, but a bridge plate is pulled up against the inside of the guitar. You know, the ball ends are on there and pulling the plate up. Having a bridge glued on, I'm going to see if it stays. So I would, that's what this guitar is for. It's to test out some things. So anyway, that's what's down to it. Not everything. I got a few more things I want to do. But I'm going to probably leave it alone for maybe another week or two. And then I will scallop the braces lightly, and we'll come back and reevaluate. Again, you could stop right now. I think it's a good sounding guitar. But again, it's a guitar that's my experimental D-18. The other one, the 6.9, is the one that stays, stock. So I am going to do some things to this to see what happens. So, when I did the bridge, I also did a 2 1/4 inch spacing. So that's a difference. It's pretty small, It just feels a little bit roomy to me. I like a wider spacing, especially when doing cross picking. It just gives me just a little bit more room. 2 1/4 is absolutely all you can get off of this neck. Look at the strings. They're going perfectly parallel down the neck here. You got no margin for error as far as placing it. In fact, if you look very closely at this bridge, you will see there's a little bit more room here than there is over here. In fact, I can really feel that. This neck is on just slightly crooked. I didn't put the neck on. The neck reset was done before me. And the neck is on just slightly crooked, which is not uncommon. I deal with that a lot. So when I'm working on a guitar, starting from scratch, I do the bridge first. And I get more even than this is. And then I set the neck to the bridge. In this case, I had to build the bridge to the neck. So that's why this is off a little bit here. It's what I had to do, So anyway, that's not uncommon for stock Martin bridge to be slightly off 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch. It's off 1/8 of an inch front to back, so it's not unusual that it'd be off a little bit this way. I don't know if it affects the sound. Maybe it does in a very small manner, because if it was scooted over here, it might put more emphasis on the bass. Actually, it is scooted over this direction because the bridge is slid over and the pins are here. But anyway, if you're looking very closely, you'll see that I'm off here, and that's the reason for that. I'm not going to do anything about that. Neck angle is okay. I think the guy shed it a little too much because I have a fairly tall saddle on this thing. A little taller than I would like to see for a long through saddle. And the action is pretty low. The action is less than 3/32 of an inch right now, which I'm a little bit worried about, because when I do the refret, it's going to raise the frets up about 0.010 of an inch, and that's going to get pretty low. So that's one other reason I'm kind of dragging my heels and doing the refret, because I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. The real solution would be to take the neck off again and unset it just an absolute smidgen of an inch. I might actually do that after I refret it, and I'll get everything absolutely 100%. But when I scalp the braces, the top is going to rise a little bit too. So, of course, you see how you got to really consider all of these factors when you're overhauling a D-18 or a 70s Martin from scratch. You got to really think about all these factors. So my course of action is going to be to scallop first and see what happens to the action. Then I'll probably refret, and then if I have to, if I think this saddle is going to get just too tall, the action is just a little too low, then I'll go ahead and take the neck off and unset it just a tiny bit. Bring the angle back down to get where I want it. But that's down the line. That's stuff I'm going to mess with. Right now, guitar's great. Plays good. Got a great neck on it. Sounds good. I like the way the sound went. And next step is to scalp the braces one of these days. Later this week, next week, whatever. Okay, here we go. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.